Hi, my name is Lynne McTaggart. I'm author of The Field and The Intention Experiment. And last weekend, I actually ran 2 intention experiments at the World Happiness Summit in Miami, Florida. I worked with Dr. Constantine Korotkov, who was in St. Petersburg, Russia. And I asked my audience to send intention to a bottle of water in his lab there in Russia. We had extraordinary response. We sent intention as a collective group and discovered that we had changed the whole field ambience as measured by some of his equipment. It had an extraordinary coherent effect in lowering atmospheric charge, electromagnetic fields, and creating a more coherent, peaceful environment. Just imagine if we all did this all around the world at the same time. During that event, I also ran Power of 8 groups, which meant I took the audience and put them in little groups of 8 and asked them to nominate one member of the group with a health issue and have the entire group send intention to that person. So I did this on last Saturday, and on Sunday, I asked everybody who had been an attendee to come up to the front of the room and explain what happened. And there were extraordinary stories. So extraordinary that I want to read them to you. So I had Paul, who had tendinitis in his left hand and usually wore a brace. He left it off on Saturday but couldn't move his hand. By Sunday, he was showing everybody he was moving it perfectly. Then Kim, who had Lyme disease and fibromyalgia and pain since 2012. After her intention, she said the next day, she was feeling so much better she was out of pain. And Diane, who also had pain because of scoliosis, she had been unable to work out for an entire year and because of that had lost a whole inch in height. During the intention, she said, she felt intense heat and rapid-fire twitching response. The next day, she had no pain, she said. It's like I have a new hip. And then Gloria, who also had pain in her back, in her sacroiliac region. And during the intention, she felt as though she was being pulled from both sides, like she was a puppet on a string, and intense heat also. And afterward, her pain was completely gone. And on and on and on. Effects with someone with traumatic brain injury, effects with someone who was deaf in one ear and began feeling it open up and sensing more. This is the kind of stuff I hear at every workshop I do. And I started doing this about 10 years ago, and it scared me to death. I'm not a healer. I don't pretend to be. I'm not a personal development coach. I'm somebody who reports on things as a journalist, and I like evidence. And this was so outside the box that I refused to talk about it or write about it for a whole decade. But now that I've seen it over and over and over and over, and I've written about it in my new book, The Power of 8, which is coming out in September, I recognize, after researching it, what might be going on here. What's the reason for these miracles? It's not me. I'm not a healer. It's not amazing magic. It is partly the power of intention, which seems to get supersized in a group. It's the power of getting off of yourself and doing something for someone else. But it's also just the group itself, the alchemical magic of a small group working together. So I'm telling you this because I do this once a year in an Intention Masterclass, just once. And I'm running one that starts March 25th. What I do is for 6 weeks, I give you Intention Boot Camp. I teach you all the rudimentaries of intention that I learned from distilling all the evidence, the scientific evidence about intention used in the laboratory, mind over matter studies, and then speaking to many intention masters, master healers, Buddhist monks, Qigong masters, and distilling all of their common practices into a simple program. I look at how to protect yourself against negative intention, how to use intention in your life, not only for your health, but for your relationships, for your career, for your life's purpose. But the point is, my stuff's different because it really teaches you to get off of yourself. And when you do that, it all comes back to you doublefold. So the other thing that's different about me is I don't believe in charging thousands of dollars for this. This is a gift that I want to give the world. Of course, we have to pay for certain things to run a year-long Intention Masterclass, but I've kept the price down, and you can find out more about it either on my Facebook page or by clicking the link below. But I want to invite you, because there's just a few spaces left and a few days left to sign up. Everybody who does finds that it's transformational. And as I say, I'm still blown away by this, but now I know it's real. Now I've tested it. I've teased it apart scientifically. I've even tested it with a psychology department to see what goes on, and found incredible brain changes among those people who get involved in intention in a small group. Powerful, powerful brain changes that are akin to studying for years as a Sufi master or a Buddhist monk. It's that kind of power that a small group holds. In our Intention Masterclass, after our 6-week boot camp, I put you into a small group of 8 to 12, and they become your intention family for an entire year. And that's where the miracles start. You find that when you intend for someone else, it rebounds back to you. When you have a group supporting you, it creates enormous change, particularly since this is a virtual group. You don't meet them, you meet them on Skype. And nevertheless, this kind of situation of having a group of strangers working with you, supporting you, loving you, transforms everybody I work with. And they'll be your intention family. You'll be working with them for an entire year, supported by me with weekly updates and regular bonus calls. So if you're interested in this kind of transformational experience, I'm not going to give you a huge amount of hype. I'm just going to tell you what I've discovered, how it's blown my mind, how it's changed me from a 21st century doubting Thomas, and just invite you to experience the transformational power of group intention. Thanks so much for listening. If you're interested in my teleseminar, which starts March 25th, kicks off then, goes on for an entire year, just click on the links here in this broadcast, and I look forward to welcoming you on Saturday. Thank you.